More examples of what makes NCT's Johnny so appealing. Firstly, I'm sure everyone's privy to Johnny's solo performance during the NCT 127 World Tour. The performance highlights Johnny's outstanding self-confidence, as this performance could have been really awkward and embarrassing for him, but it wasn't, due to the total trust he has in both the way he looks and his abilities. Furthermore, Johnny took it seriously. Even during the practices where he often goofs around and is the first person to make everyone laugh, when it came to his performance, he was laser-focused on what he had to do and set out to do it. And him having the kahunas to do all this while topless impressed not only fans, but his members, because the performance was physically demanding. It was a unique solo stage, and it was Johnny's chance to showcase what he could do, and was a unique performance he pulled off. This is a small example, but years back, Johnny did a live reaction to YouTube fan edit compilations of him. Firstly, the fact that he wasn't watching sexy compilations of himself, but in fact was watching funny compilations, says a lot about how he doesn't take himself seriously, or think too highly of himself. Toyoung gatecrashed Johnny's live, and Johnny wasn't embarrassed in the slightest over the fact that he was watching compilation videos of himself or doing a live, and he also didn't kick Toyoung out, happily letting him sit through the live. But what I wanted to point out is, Toyoung was interested in the live and what Johnny was watching, and so he kept talking, unintentionally interrupting Johnny, who was watching and preoccupied. Now, Johnny's older. He could have shushed Toyoung or kicked him out, but not once did Johnny raise his voice at Toyoung or look visibly annoyed at being interrupted. He didn't look fazed at all, and was a picture of unbotheredness. And what's interesting is that Johnny kept responding to Toyoung regardless, without a hint of annoyance. He paused the video a couple of times to even turn to Toyoung and give him his full attention while responding to him and engaging. It shows the sense of respect Johnny has for people, as he didn't let the video continuously play while Toyoung spoke and would pause it, because he didn't want to gloss over videos fans took the time to make about him. Even when reacting to one of the videos, there's a moment where, as a funny meme, a cuss is used indirectly against one of the older men Johnny was interacting with in the compilation, and Johnny didn't like that, and apologized out of respect to the older man in the video. Now, he could have just ignored it, but it reinforces the respect he gives to not just those who are older than him, but to anyone. And yes, Johnny teases people a lot, like Mark for instance. But these examples show that whether it's his friend, a teammate, a fan, or his elders, Johnny is naturally polite and respectful as a person, which is appealing. A good example of this was when Johnny was in New York for the Met Gala. Even off-duty, he positively acknowledged every fan who spoke to him or tried to interact with him, when he could have been ticked off that they'd found him. A fan told him to have a good time at the Met, and he said thank you. It's subtle, but it shows his natural inclination to acknowledge his fans and people wherever he is. The concept of JCC itself is Johnny doing random things, and being filmed while doing them. From pole dancing to nail painting, surfing, making coffee, and doing yoga in New York. JCC is something unique to Johnny because he's someone who is willing and open to attempt anything and go all in. He has a natural charisma which makes him fun to watch, and he tackles each activity head-on with no embarrassment, insecurities, or inhibition. He always seems to have a good time because he's able to see the fun and positive side of anything he attempts and does. It's a contributing factor as to why people gravitate towards him. It's that natural positivity and relaxed nature with zero judgment, and a willingness and openness Johnny naturally resonates, that is so appealing. It's in his core, and it never changes no matter where he is or what situation he's in. And it's hard for someone to be like that, which, as mentioned before, is due to his parents raising him to not have any inhibitions or reservations or to ever doubt himself in any situation growing up. And it's created someone whose confidence is so subtle, humble, yet consistent and always there, which allows Johnny to be as relaxed as he is in any situation, and the ease in which he can move in social circles. He can be alone and attempt things alone like pole dancing, yoga, or being a spokesperson for NCT or the whole of SM by going to the Met Gala. He's not insecure or shy in front of the camera. Take his recent filming with the Korean Englishman YouTube channel. Both Mark and Jaehyun did it together, which was a funny episode by the way, but Johnny did it alone. And instead of looking insecure without the other members in a totally new environment for him, he was completely relaxed and continuously made the hosts laugh, which is something even they mentioned because, lest we forget, one of Johnny's best traits is his humor and his sassy persona, which always earns a laugh from whoever's around him, usually Mark. But nonetheless, it's easy for Johnny to put himself out there because he doesn't see it as embarrassing or cringy, so it's not scary or frightening for him to be in front of the camera or talk to or hang out with new people, when it would be overtly uncomfortable for someone else. So it's easy for him to enjoy things. There's no expectation to be the best, only to be himself, and give things his best shot. And that further concludes to his lack of an ego and inoffensive confidence. But what do you think?